They're launching an international, it's called basically an inclusive language function. So when you now will type something, I don't know, say landlord, it will come up with a prompt that basically says perhaps you didn't mean landlord. You might want it to be more, inclusive and say property owner or something. Instead of saying chairman, you might want to say chairperson. And what I would be tempted to say back to Google is, well, actually, I might want to think for myself. But am I missing something here, Laurie? Is it the role of a search engine to tell me how I should be more inclusive with my words?
I think it's a feature that can be turned off, and I will not be carrying at my laptop at the idea that Google has introduced that feature. I may turn it off.
But why is it needed?
Well, we should ask Google that, right? I mean, I think
they're not here. I'm asking you. Don't ruin my fun.
There's a wider... I would assume that Google would say that there's a wider thing going on here, which is that, certain phrases in society are from past, more backward times when certain groups, like in the case of the word landlord, you're excluding the idea that the owner of property could be a female, for example, and I'm sure that's what they would say. But this is a feature that can be turned off. I don't think we should be that scared of it. I think we should be talking about bigger issues with technology platforms like the news today that Elon Musk could be buying.
Yes, so
Twitter.
we'll come back to that, but hang on a second, because I want to know, Ceri, this whole language thing, because I sit there and think, well, who is offended by, say, like the concept of a landlord? Like, I'm a landlord, I call myself a landlord. I don't get offended because the term doesn't include me, because it should say property owner so that I feel included in the concept.
Well, I think that's absolutely right. And I think, you see, I do think it's dangerous, Laurie, because this is kind of nudge in the language sphere. It's trying to nudge our behaviour because we are also apparently and unconsciously sexist, misogynistic, racist, that, if we say housewife instead of stay-at-home spouse, I'd be like, what's one of those? Then obviously we're incredibly backward and our behaviour has to be policed and pushed. And that's what... And Google is... Even though at the moment this is going to be rolled out for business and the business corporate world, Google Docs, not just Google search, Google Forms. I mean, it's huge. And Alphabet, that owns Google and YouTube and all these others, are all going in this direction. This is big tech, deciding what we can and can't say, write, read, think, because we can't be trusted. And I think we need to really push back against these people.